Welcome to the Express program. The Express program provides eligible Massachusetts employers fast, simple access to off-the-shelf training, helping businesses respond to emerging needs. The Express program is an offering of the Workforce Training Fund, administered by Commonwealth Corporation on behalf of the Massachusetts Executive Office of Labor and Workforce Development. We are happy to support eligible Massachusetts businesses with 100 or fewer Massachusetts W-2 employees with training reimbursement. At the time of this recording, grant funds are limited to $20,000 per company per calendar year, up to $3,000 per person per course. This is subject to change. Please verify current Express program subsidy limits and program guidelines by visiting our website prior to submitting your application. This video will walk you through the grant application process, starting from your online application through to your first day of training. Before your business can apply, you will need to gather the following information. 1. Your business's full legal name and doing business as, or DBA, if applicable. 2. The Federal Employer Identification Number, or FEIN, of your organization. This number is a 9-digit number, 2 digits, followed by a dash, and then 7 digits. 3. A signed recent copy of the business's Form W-9 that verifies full legal name and FEIN of the business applying for the Express program grant. 4. A certificate of good standing, or COGS for short, from the Massachusetts Department of Revenue indicating that your business is in compliance with its tax obligations under Chapter 62C of the Massachusetts General Laws. You can request a COGS through your Mass Tax Connect account with the Department of Revenue. We have a link to the DOR website and Mass Tax Connect login on our website under the For Applicants page. If you have specific questions about your DOR account, please reach out to the Department of Revenue department directly. Next, we'll show you what a COGS looks like. Note that this COGS says Department of Revenue at the top. Please ensure that your COGS is dated within the last 6 months and has the current legal business name, including any Inc. or LLC designation. If you need to update the legal name on your COGS, you can do so through your Mass Tax Connect account using the e-messaging function. Applications with COGS that have a date greater than 6 months from the date of application will be automatically closed. Please do not submit a COGS from the Secretary of the Commonwealth, the Department of Unemployment Assistance, or a COGS from a different state. This will result in an automatic rejection, and you will have to reapply once you have obtained a current COGS from the DOR. 5. The current number of Massachusetts payroll employees for your company, both full-time and part-time, that receive a Form W-2. This number should exclude independent contractors, 1099s, and employees working in other states, as these categories of worker are not eligible to be trained with Express program dollars. This number should be calculated as the total number of Massachusetts part and full-time employees on the day you submit your application, and not an older nor a projected number. 6. Contact information of an individual or individuals at your organization authorized to sign a contract to accept a grant, correspond about grant-related matters, and submit reimbursement requests. This contact could be the same person in cases of very small businesses where employees hold multiple roles. 7. A training start date for all courses. Please note that the earliest training start date must be at least 21 days and no later than 6 months in advance from the day you submit the application. 8. Training details for every course you wish to take from our Express course directory. Specifically, you will need the name of the training provider and the course ID for each course, which is a number starting with C- followed by 4 or 5 numerical digits. In the next part of this video, We will look at the Express program's new course directory that lists the thousands of courses eligible for Express program reimbursement. You can locate our Express course directory by going to the Express program website on the Commonwealth Corporation website. Through our newly updated course directory, you can now search for pre-approved courses by course description keywords, Training Pro ID, training category, training topic, training provider name, and Express course ID number. There is also a selection at the top to filter the directory for DEI, ESOL, and climate change courses, which are priority funding areas of the Healey-Driscoll administration. Search functions are cumulative, which means if you add multiple search parameters, our directory will search for a course that meets all of the entered fields. You can use any one of these course describers to filter the directory, which currently has over 3,000 courses eligible and pre-approved for Express program reimbursement. For the purposes of this video, I am going to search for our fake course, which is offered by the fake training provider ComCorp Provider Beta Count number 2. I will click on this provider, and then I will enter the course ID, and then I will hit search. And then the course ID that appears will be C-4642, which will show up on the left-hand side of the search results. When I select that C record number, you can view the course overview, which includes pertinent details such as course cost, length of the course, the format of delivery, and the description of the course as submitted by the training provider. You are also now able to submit your Express program application right from this screen. At the bottom, simply select Express Program Application. In the next part of this video, we will show you how to fill out and submit your Express program application. Page 1 of our application contains our Important Announcements section. The Important Announcements section overviews the latest WTFP guideline changes. The page depicted here outlines policy updates from July 2023, which were in effect at the time of this recording. Please remember that policies such as the total amount a company can receive in reimbursement per year are subject to change at the discretion of the WTFP Advisory Board and leadership team. Our website and this Important Announcements page on our application will be updated as soon as any future changes are announced. Once you have reviewed any recent policy updates, you can check the box at the bottom to acknowledge that you understand our current grant-making policies, and then hit Next. The second application page will ask you to select your type of business, along with the materials you should have ready during this part of the application process. We've overviewed this list of materials in part 1 of this video. For a full overview of our compliance guidelines, you can visit our FAQ page on our website. Next, select the type of business that your business qualifies as. If you are a government entity, you are not eligible for funding. If you are a sole proprietor or nonprofit, you may not be eligible for funding depending on how you file payroll taxes. You can always connect with the Express program before submitting your application if you aren't sure about your business's eligibility. For now, I'm going to select for-profit and read the acknowledgments, and then scroll to the bottom, click I have gathered the required materials, and hit Next page. The application history page will ask you whether or not you have applied to the Workforce Training Fund before, your federal employer identification number, and the size of your business. If you have not applied for a Workforce Training Fund grant before, please select No on the first question. If you entered an FEIN and it exists in our system, your organization information will automatically be added to the fields on the next page. At the time of this recording, only employers with 100 or fewer Massachusetts payroll employees We're eligible for reimbursement through the Express program. If you have over 100 Massachusetts payroll employees, you should consider applying for the General program, which are available to businesses of all sizes. On this page, you will also be asked to answer a reCAPTCHA question for security purposes. For the purposes of this video, we'll select No and apply as a new applicant, enter a fake FEIN number, and enter business size eligibility, which is 100 or fewer Massachusetts employees. And we'll select I am not a robot. If you select an FEIN with less than 9 digits, the form will tell you so. So make sure you're entering exactly 9 digits with the dash in between them. The organization search at the top of this page will indicate whether your organization information is on file in our system based off of the FEIN you provided. If the below fields are empty, that means we don't have a record of your organization applying previously. Don't be alarmed if you don't see your business information populate and if you notice that these fields aren't editable. By selecting all fields are empty, you will be given the opportunity to enter your organization's information in the next section. As you can see here, because our organization is new, no information will populate and the fields will not be editable. Under business size, enter the total amount of W-2 employees you have at the moment of application, including part-time and full-time. In the organization profile section, as a new applicant, you can fill out your organization information, including your FEIN, DUA number if you have it available, which is optional, organization legal name, doing business as, or DBA, business phone number, primary industry, and address information. The information we're filling out here is for a fake company. Note that if you are a returning applicant, you'll see that the information we have on file will automatically populate this section. You will have the opportunity to update your company's information each time you submit a new application with the Express program. The Express program needs a certificate of good standing from the Massachusetts Department of Revenue submitted with every application. The certificate must list the full legal name of the business, including any LLC, Inc., or other legal designation, and should have a notice date within the past 6 months from the date that you are applying. Upload your certificate in this section and then enter the notice date located at the top right corner of your certificate. Once uploaded, you may advance to the next page. This page of the application is where you will upload your business's W-9, indicate any business diversity certifications, and enter course information for the course or courses you wish to receive reimbursement for. Please upload a signed and recent copy of your business form W-9 verifying your full legal business name and FEIN. For the business diversity certifications, select any that apply to you. If you have copies of certifications for each certification, you are also welcome to upload them in this section as well. For this video, I am going to select No for all 3 questions and thus am not going to upload any documentation. For the How did you hear about the Express program question, please select one or more options for how you have heard about the Express program. This information helps our team assess the impact of our outreach and communications initiatives. For the purposes of this application, I'm simply going to select Referral by Training Provider. The award disclaimer and course selection process will allow you to see how much grant money can be awarded in the calendar year, but because we are a new applicant, no information will appear. You will also be filling out specifics on the courses that you are applying for reimbursement for. Under the training start date, indicate the very first date that training will start as part of this proposed grant. Every course entered in the subsequent section must fall on or after this date. Remember that you must select a date at least 21 days or 3 weeks in advance from the date of application, and no later than 6 months in advance. Please note that if training is occurring in less than 21 days, we suggest that you reach out to your training provider to inquire about taking the course at a later future start date. The Express program cannot make exceptions for early start dates. If you enter a false training start date and submit for reimbursement with a date that falls before that date, your reimbursement request will be denied. To begin, please choose the training provider name. This field must be filled in with the name of a provider that is currently listed on the directory. As you can see here, because we approach the application through the directory, the name ComCorp Beta Provider Account will automatically appear. Under Course Information, click on the empty box field and find the associated course ID from that chosen provider. Please select the course ID as is shown in the Express directory. If you do not know your ID number, which again is a C dash followed by 4 or 5 digits, you may look it up in our directory following these instructions. For these purposes, I'll enter C-4642. Once a course ID has been chosen, the provider name and the name of the course, including course cost, course name, and course capacity, will fill in the fields below. If you see conflicting information, stop filling out the application and get in touch with the training provider to verify you have the right course ID number. If everything looks good, select the box Confirmed and proceed to the next section. In the Course Request Details section, you will enter details specific to your company taking an approved course. Please use the currently approved details above in the Course Information section for what is currently approved at the moment of your application. I will be filling out this section with a fake training provider training start date of 4/23/2024. The next question is, when will this training finish? Remember that training can be completed in one day, as I'll enter here, or over multiple days or weeks into the future. Next, please enter how many Massachusetts W-2 payroll trainees are attending this group. Please select whether you are paying for this course at a group rate or per trainee rate. The course cost type options for this section can be found in the course information section above. If both course cost types are filled in, please connect with your training provider to confirm how you are paying for this course before submitting the application. Please enter the price you're paying per trainee or per group based on your selection above. Note that if the amount you indicate in this section is less than the amount shown in the Express course directory, we will automatically consider it a discounted rate and will not reimburse for any amount higher than the amount you input. The total cost of training field is automatically calculated as the number of trainees and the cost type indicated under course request details to determine the total cost of training for this course. The course cost per trainee group is also automatically calculated based on the information you provided. Once you have completed filling out this section, please confirm the information you entered is accurate. If you would like to add a second group or course to your application, select Yes on this question. Remember, you can add up to 10 courses on every Express application. For the purposes of this recording, we will only be applying for one course today, so we will select No to adding a second course. We will also confirm that this is all the training we are planning to apply for today, keeping in mind that you can only submit one application per day to the Express program. 4 acknowledgement questions will then appear in order to advance to the next screen. Please read each carefully to make sure you understand our application policies. I acknowledge that I have the option to include multiple courses in this application with a maximum limit of 10 courses. I acknowledge that I am restricted to one application per day unless I am applying for more than 10 groups or courses. I acknowledge that unless I applied for more than 10 courses in my initial application of the day, any subsequent applications submitted on that same day will be closed. I acknowledge that I have the option to submit a reimbursement request after completing each course, and I am not required to wait until all courses in this application are completed to do so. Then click Next to advance to the final section of the application. The application summary will list the projected cost added up among all your courses that pre-fills into this section. Below that, read each statement provided and select the checkbox next to them to acknowledge that you understand our policies. I acknowledge that eligible businesses may be awarded up to $20,000 in express funding, up to $3,000 per person per course per calendar year. I acknowledge that if the total cost of training indicated above equals a number greater than $20,000, or if the cumulative amount of the total cost of training indicated above, plus any other awards I've received in Express grants this calendar year exceed $20K, that the Express team will reduce the total amount awarded for this application to keep my business compliant with program guidelines. I acknowledge that the use of Workforce Training Fund Express grants is restricted to documented Massachusetts-based employees who receive an IRS W-2 form from their employer. Use of these funds for any other non-qualifying person, such as but not limited to company owners who are not W-2 employees, or other purpose is strictly prohibited and may be considered fraud, and my employer may be liable for the misuse of state funding. To ensure the expedient and efficient communication between Express program staff and your company, the relevant personnel section will ask you to indicate a point of contact for each of the following 4 roles. Please note that all contacts must be current employees of the applicant organization, and one employee can serve as the contact for more than one role. The primary contact. This person will be the initial point of contact for application inquiries and will serve as a coordinator for the employer and is often the person who is completing the grant application. The finance contact is the person who will submit a reimbursement request upon the completion of training and, if required, should be able to provide financial documentation such as payroll reports, proof of payment, course invoices, and other documents. The optional alternative contact is as a person who will be contacted if we're unable to get in touch with the primary contact. Additionally, upon request, this person can be CC'd in all correspondence related to the application and grant service agreement. For the purposes of this application, I'm going to hit no on alternative contact. Before proceeding to enter information about the final required contact, the authorized signatory, you will see a list of the key terms of the Workforce Training Fund program. For today, we will not read through each, but please ensure that you read and understand each point thoroughly before submitting your application. If you have questions about any of the terms, stop filling out the application and email express@comcorp.org for assistance. I am going to affirm in the next section that I am authorized to submit this application on behalf of the organization and agree that the information I provided is accurate. The authorized signatory is the person who will receive the grant service agreement and should be authorized to sign the agreement on behalf of the company. Finally, I'll hit submit when it's completed. Once you submit your application, you will receive a confirmation email from express@comcorp.org. You may need to check your spam inbox for this email. Make sure to add express@comcorp.org to your safe sender list to ensure you receive updates on your application. If your business complies with Express program requirements, your grant should be approved. Within 21 days of submitting your application, a contract, the service agreement mentioned before, will be sent via DocuSign to the authorized signatory you indicated on the last page of your application. Please instruct your company's signatory to sign the agreement upon receiving the DocuSign email. Training may not begin before a signed service agreement is in place. To help remind you, automated email notifications will be sent to the primary and alternate contacts if the contract is not signed within 4 days of the approved start date. If your business does not pass our compliance review, you will receive an email notice from express@comcorp.org with the compliance issue and instructions on how to resolve it. Once the issue is resolved, you can reapply if the training is still 21 days from your new submission date. The authorized signatory indicated on your application will receive your contract to sign via DocuSign. Be sure to instruct them to check their spam filter if they do not immediately see it. In the email notice that is sent, click Review Documents to open the contract. The contract should be carefully reviewed before signature to ensure the information is correct. If it is not, please do not sign the service agreement and get in touch with us immediately at express@comcorp.org. If it is, sign and return the contract in DocuSign before your approved training start date. A member of our finance team will sign after you sign, and a copy of the fully executed service agreement will be sent to you upon their signature. Once the agreement is in place, you may then begin training as early as the indicated approved start date on your service agreement. Remember two key pieces of information. Training that starts before the start date of your contract is not eligible for reimbursement, and an agreement must be signed by the approved start date of the course in your application in order for your company to receive reimbursement. Thanks for watching this how-to video. Remember that you can reach out to us at express@comcorp.org with any concerns or questions. Happy training!